Welcome to the Moody's Tire and Auto Football Extra.
Where honesty and service comes first.
Serving Williamson County for over 70 years. Visit us at Moody's Tire for all your tire and automotive needs.
Stop by and see us at 1600 Columbia Avenue.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Moody's Tire and Auto Football Extra. My name's Charles Pulliam, joined here by Maurice Patton of MoPattonSports.com. And if you haven't checked out online, also known as the Mostradamus here, right? The pick guy, right?
The pick guy, yeah, I like that. I like that better than that word that other guy.
What's that? I think the expert, right? Oh man, walked right into it.
See.
Well, we're out here at Franklin, where the Rebels are going to be hosting a Ravenwood team coming off a loss at Centennial, and Franklin coming off a big county win at Brentwood. What are you kind of expecting from this one out here?
My expectations for this game are a lot like my expectations were for Ravenwood Centennial last week, which didn't exactly play out. So you can throw me out the window too. But I think Ravenwood, when they play the way they're capable of playing, I think Ravenwood has too much offensive firepower for Franklin. I think Franklin can play with Ravenwood defense versus Ravenwood's offense. I'm not sure Franklin can score enough to stay with Ravenwood. But again, that was what I thought last week too, and we see how that went. So.
One was really the Raptor team coming in here, and you just don't see a Will Hester team turn the ball over like that. You don't really see a team turn the ball over like that overall. I mean, 6 turnovers on downs, interceptions, sacks. It was an ugly game offensively for the Raptors.
I think it was one of those Murphy's Law type games, from what I understand. Anything that could go wrong did. They got their typical solid performance out of Chris Rowland. I think he had a big punt return, had some nice catches. I don't think he was as involved in the run game as maybe they would have liked for him to have been, but obviously Andrew Rapay struggled a little bit. They couldn't get Connor Jeffries off, and that was kind of their downfall against a Centennial team that's based around their defense anyway. But Centurion DeRoe stepped in there at quarterback and really made some things happen for him.
Now this Franklin team coming off a win against Brentwood, and this was another one that had the turnovers on both sides of the ball in the early going, and Brentwood, again, just kind of failing to capitalize on some opportunities there, and Franklin able to pull it out.
I think that's going to kind of be Brentwood's MO as they go through this season, because they are so young in so many places, and I think that youth is going to kind of rear its ugly head in some bad spots. But that was really a win that Franklin needed, coming off of their loss here against Overton in a region game a couple of weeks ago. So I think they really wanted to get things right before they come back into region play here against Ravenwood.
And that's actually the Rebels squaring their record at 2-2 overall with that one, so a nice quality win for them. Brentwood, on the other hand, slips to 1-3, and now they have a Dickson County team coming to town. What do you kind of see out of that matchup?
Dickson County had to go overtime to beat Spring Hill last week at Dickson County. So I think Brentwood, having gone to Rossview a couple of weeks ago, picking up a 24-6 win, I think Ron Crawford gets them back on the beam this week. I think between Dickson County not necessarily being the Dickson County program that some of us in this area have come to expect, and Crawford kind of getting things on the upswing there, I see Brentwood winning that one at home.
And we've seen some good things offensively for Brentwood. Ahmad Arnold had a couple big games there, and he kind of established himself as that run guy they could have. And Carson Croy always kind of puts himself out there as a very, very reliable quarterback at times. So you look for them to kind of pick up offensively.
Yeah, I think, Carson isn't necessarily a guy that's going to win a game for you, but he's not going to put you in bad situations either. And John Robertson is probably going to be a little bit more involved as well. He was their lead back last year. Ahmad Arnold has kind of taken that over. They've split him out and getting him involved in the passing game. And so I think Brentwood has enough offensive weapons here against Dickson County.
Yeah, kind of compare Robertson and Rowland, very similar players where they're just kind of those spark plugs for the teams. Another county game we got going on here in Franklin. Centennial is going to be hosting Clarksville Northeast, and we talked about this Centennial team going into the one against Ravenwood. It was kind of like, are they going to have that identity offensively? You got a new quarterback, all these things, and it seems like they had some answers there.
It seems like they did, and I think one of those answers was Tyrell Dodson, and you didn't expect him to be an answer on offense this year necessarily, but it turns out he was. Scored twice on offense, had a pick six, and I think they're going to kind of look to him to be that offensive leader as well, and I think they'll be able to do that against Northeast. I think that this isn't one of your better Northeast teams. I think they're struggling a little bit, and I think Centennial will kind of feed off of what they were able to get done last week.
You mentioned the name earlier there, Centurion Dureau. Coach Brian Rector had some good things to say about him. Of course, there was a couple plays there that I'm sure the young man wanted back, but at the same time, this is a guy just stepping into a role as a third-string QB, and he actually got the job done.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a guy who was contributing at receiver for them, and you know, you have two quarterbacks go down, all of a sudden you're reaching out to him and slipping him in there at quarterback, and you have to kind of live and die with them a little bit. But he made a big play early on with the 87-yard touchdown to Austin Waddell, and I'm sure that kind of got his confidence up, made him feel like he could get some things done, and it all worked out for him.
Another key county matchup we have coming up is Independence hosting Summit. Now, the Eagles ranked number one in the state here, and with reason. They have proven themselves week after week, even after losing star quarterback Andrew Bunch here recently. It was, going into a bye week as well, so they're expecting Bunch back. But Adam Swayze has stepped in and led this offense into a couple wins here, beating Smyrna last week, 21-7. And now they'll be facing Summit in another region contest, the Eagles of Independence.
Staying in the county here, we got Page hosting Lawrence County, and Page getting one of those big confidence wins. It was a pretty ugly, sloppy game when you think of it as a 14-12 game, but they knocked off Forest on the road, and that's just one of those rivalry games.
It is one of those rivalry games, and Forest is a Class 2A program, but that's a rivalry game, like you said. They play a physical type of ball, and I think it really uglies things up, and so for Page to be able to get out with an ugly one after losing one on a two-point conversion try against Lipscomb a couple of weeks ago. Big win for Page, I think, and like you said, something for them to build some confidence off of as they go into a region game at Lawrence County.
That a Region 4 4A matchup there, and also, well, we're there, Fairview actually going to get a bye week out of here, and Fairview was at Waverly Central.
Wait, say that?
Yeah, right. Say that one several times fast.
Yeah.
But it's good for having that bye week coming up for those guys.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's much easier to go into that open week on a win than it is sitting on a loss for 2 weeks, and I know it's much easier for those kids to not have to hear about a loss for 2 weeks, especially from Chris Hughes. So that's a big win for them. They're sitting out this week, kind of letting some bumps and bruises heal up, and they'll get ready to get back into region play next week.
Now, last week for the show, we actually got to go down to Grace Christian Academy, and they did bring in the lights. They did host that first game, and it was one of those just kind of, well, we're going to go back to it, another sloppy kind of game, but they got the job done, won it 15-8, and GCA has another home game with Moore County coming to town.
You know, I don't think Grace Christian is too concerned with style points at this point. Your first year in TSSAA, first year of 11-man football, and I think they're just trying to go out and be competitive and, get a win where they can. And they had an opportunity to pick one up, and they did. And I think it gets a little tougher this time against the Moore County team that has struggled, but is traditionally one of the top teams in southern Middle Tennessee. So they'll have their work cut out for them this week, I think.
Fun little spot to catch a game down there, actually, too. Kind of offset. You got the cow pastures on one side, the chapel's right there. That was a fun little Friday Night Lights event there. Friday Night Lights coming back here to Battleground Academy as well, coming off their bye week, as they're hosting the University School Jackson.
Yeah, USJ coached by Franklin native Mickey Marley. So that's a nice game on the schedule, I think, for these two. Probably two of the top teams in Division II AA statewide. Obviously, BGA went to the state finals last year. USJ is used to making deep runs in the postseason. So I think this, along with the Friendship Christian game from a couple of weeks ago, will be a nice little measuring stick for BGA to see where they're at as they try to get back to Cookville.
Now, Brentwood Academy coming off one of those games where it was just, are you kidding me scores? And we see that in the first quarter as they just took it to Jackson Central Mary. But now they're going to have to go on the road at Baylor.
Yeah. I think whatever hangover there might be from that JCM game will be gone pretty quick. Like you said, going to Baylor. Baylor's got a tough program. Phil Massey does a really good job down there. And they are not above ambushing somebody. They got a really good Ensworth team down there a couple of years ago. So when you make that drive to Chattanooga, you better be ready to strap it up. And I think this may be Brentwood Academy's toughest game to date. I'll take that back because they played Trinity.
There you go.
Yeah, so it'll be their toughest game since Trinity.
And is that kind of a thing when you're thinking of having such a dominating performance, then having to hit the road against a tough team? How do you prepare as a team, do you think, when it comes to something like that?
Short memories. You got to have a short memory, and I'm sure that's what Cody White and that staff has told that bunch. You got to put that JCM game behind you and get ready for a really tough Baylor team on the road.
Well, those are all our county matchups here for the Moody's Tire and Auto Football Extra. My name's Charles Pulliam. As always, we love being joined here by Maurice Patton of MoPattonSports.com. We'll see you out there.